Coming up on this episode of The Extra Mile.
Success comes slow. It's like golf. You have to tee it up. I cannot be any happy than I am the way the Transportation Commission treat us in Vicksburg.
Hey everyone, I'm Marshall Ramsey. I spent a lot of time driving along Mississippi's highways, and I know firsthand the importance of safe driving. So put down your phone, ditch the distractions, and pay attention to the roads. It's that simple. Drive smart for roadside workers, for your family, and for yourself.
That's nearly $2 billion, and that's money that's going to be spent on improving safety, enhancing mobility, and improving economic growth and development in the state of Mississippi.
Yeah, and with this historic funding from the legislature, new construction will be popping up all over Mississippi.
MDOT presents the Extra Mile Podcast.
Men and women of the Department of Transportation are up to the task and up to make sure that we deliver a product that the taxpayers can be proud of. So I'm ready for us to go to work.
Welcome in to another edition of the Extra Mile Podcast presented by the Mississippi Department of Transportation. I'm MDOT Deputy Director of Public Affairs, Paul Catul, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Will Kraft. He is the Director of Public Affairs at MDOT, and we have a repeat guest today. We are back in the Key City, in the city of Vicksburg, to speak with Vicksburg Mayor George Flaggs. The last time we visited with him was in November of 2021, right here in this office. The mayor is in his third term now, and he previously represented his legislative district in Mississippi in the Mississippi House of Representatives from 1988 until 2013. And we are so happy to be here. Thank you so much for hosting us once again.
Well, I'm honored that you're here, and I'm excited. Vicksburg is growing. It's a great city, and I love this city, and I decided to retire from the legislature and come back home and be a part of the progress of the city.
We love it.
Glutton for punishment. Say retired from one job, but definitely no taking a break or rest afterwards, huh?
No, I guess it's when you ambitious, I guess.
Absolutely.
That's a rule. When you want something bad enough, time doesn't matter. You just change hands and do what you have to do.
That's right.
I'm enjoying it. I was asked a few minutes ago what is it that I don't like to do, and I said that is to be repeatedly telling people what to do. That already know what they ought to be doing. So other than that, it's a great city. I look forward to coming here every morning. And most people tell you that if you don't like your job, you won't enjoy going to it.
That's right.
That is very, very true. So we're having a summer travel theme on the podcast, so of course here in Vicksburg. So tell us about what happened in the city of Vicksburg for the 4th.
We had a great fireworks show. The whole weekend of the 4th of July celebration was great. Of course, you got to know the history of Vicksburg. You know, depending on who you ask, Vicksburg did not celebrate the 4th for 75 years. Wow. And to be mayor of this city, to be a part of a celebration of the 4th of July, of the birth of our nation is phenomenal. The rain stopped the band from playing, but let me just tell you something. People kept coming. Our garages was full of people. I estimate about 5,000. We could have had about 10 or 15 had it not rained.
Wow, that's awesome.
Right.
I believe it. I know it's always been well attended over here since you guys have started back up doing the July 4th celebration.
Right.
Definitely one of the premier ones. We're going to get down here for a July 4th episode at some point.
No doubt, no doubt.
Well, as you mentioned, the city just continues to grow under your leadership, and everything's going well, rock and rolling. I'm sure you guys have your issues like everybody else, but lots of good things to talk about. Kind of continuing what Paul mentioned about summer travel. So you guys host all kind of big events, not the least of which is Miss Mississippi. Is that right?
Oh, absolutely. The Miss Mississippi pageant is one of our biggest economic boom that we could have, or impact we can have. The hotels are full, the restaurants are full. Yeah. People from all around. This last one was a great one. I went every day, and in fact, I've gone to every pageant except for one day. I missed one day about 4 or 5 years ago. I enjoy it. and the people come here and enjoy because it's a safe city, and it's a city where you can come and relax and enjoy yourself day or night. The streets of downtown are full of traffic. I just love to see the baby strollers and the moms and the pop walking together, and those that call themselves in love holding hands.
That's right. We're trying. As one with two under two. Yeah, we're trying to keep it together. That's all we're doing.
Right.
Shout out to Will. Shout out to Dad over there.
I appreciate that. Two other really fun things I saw going on, the Facebook post, and let me hit them individually so as not to minimize them. Pickleball first.
Oh, pickleball is a phenomenal sport. And in fact, I had no idea that pickleball was moving as fast across the country
Me neither.
that it is now. And we was able to renovate a baseball field and convert it into a pickleball course. We had a young man that come here that played pickleball in on every pickleball course in the United States, and he was traveling. It's doing great, and in fact, not represented, but Alderman Monster called me on the morning and said that they want to be able to beat the heat and come in about 5 o'clock in the morning to play pickleball. And I said, let's do that. And he said, how you do it? I said, what you do is let somebody come in at 5 and let them in and let them play. This city is wide open for recreation opportunity. And, we got our sports port, Forest Park, and everybody I talk to say it's phenomenal. But pickleball is taking off. And I didn't know that there's an app. You go to that app, and it'll show you your nearest pickleball course.
Oh, I didn't know that either. There you go. Information for the cast out there, listeners. Yeah, I had no idea, but noticing you guys, the Facebook post and Visit Vicksburg had some stuff out there. So we might have to get in a game or two this afternoon. The other one that I would definitely have to mention, Goat Yoga.
Oh, yoga's doing real good, and it's one of our programs that have been implemented at our YMCA, and it's growing and growing and growing, and we are glad that we could have the yoga and allow the people to have that type of outlet. Vicksburg probably got an outreach for just about every sport that you can name.
That seems like it. Yeah. The list just keeps going. That's what I was going to say. And, the goat yoga thing, though, pickleball was definitely new to me. I did not know anything about it. But I have seen the yoga, especially that kind of niche type of those classes other places. But right here in Vicksburg, you can come right around the corner.
Right.
Participate. I love it.
That's amazing. Amazing. Goat yoga. Never thought we'd talk about goat yoga on the podcast, Will, but
time and place
here we are. So we really appreciate the legislature for all that they do. And one of the cool things they did this year was allow for the Dick Hall Welcome Center out there on I-20 be starting up. Can you kind of talk about that project, what that means to honor a great man like former Central District Transportation Commissioner Dick Hall?
Well, let me just say this, because Dick was a friend of mine, and he actually from Vicksburg. That's the reason why we decided to name that Welcome Center after him. His family's been phenomenal in this city. I was there when they unveiled the renderings of the new Dick Hall Welcome Center, and it's amazing how big it's going to be and how great it's going to look, especially on the river view where the whole river view will be glass. I think it's a great opportunity, and what a great man to honor. He served, in fact, he's the longest serving Transportation Commission, and he served I don't know how many years in the legislature, because when I got there, he was in the Senate, but he had been in the House. I served with him on appropriation. He was a great mentor and leader. He was a very approachable guy, and he had a lot of humor.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. So speaking of things the legislature did, so $450 million for shovel-ready capacity projects, and one of those has happened in this area, improvements to the Flowers Interchange on I-20. So what is that going to mean for Vicksburg residents, for people kind of traveling in the area?
Well, first let me get the governor, lieutenant governor, and Senator Briggs Hobson, and the Transportation Commission and the executive director of Transportation credit for being able to move that up and fund it in the way they fund it. I think it's going to be great for the love for the Flowers exit, and it more important, it's going to be a more safety feature than anything. But it is going to allow us to access this city and from here to from Jackson to here better and get off the road in a safer way. Not only that, they gave us $10 million for the Fisher Ferry Road and bridge. It's the only bridge on that road, and it's about 11 miles if that bridge is out. So the legislature gave us $4 million, and the transportation department is going to give us $6 million, and we're already in the design phase of that bridge. Plus the other things that they gave us downtown area, they have already given us $3.5 million to improve the riverfront development, and that I'm excited. I'm elated that I know legislators and I know the leaders of this state in a way that we have a relationship, and I applaud all of them.
That's amazing.
It's going to be great.
Like we've been saying, orange cones all around the state.
Absolutely.
Look out for it.
No doubt. And just a good opportunity, I feel like. Talk about that Flowers interchange. Now, if I'm not mistaken, so y'all have kind of your industrial complexes over there as well.
Absolutely. The county has what you call the Ceres Plantation, which is an industrial complex, and the Love
That's right.
station is just a part of that. It is growing. It's my understanding somebody has already purchased the other part of it to put another type of transportation or a parking facility out there, because I was in D.C. about a month or two ago, and let me tell you something. Parking is a problem for 18-wheelers all across this country.
Oh, yeah.
And if you hadn't noticed, you can't find a ramp or, 18-wheelers not parked at night or sometime during the day, because you cannot drive an 18-wheeler for more than 11 hours. And I'm telling you, if they catch you out there, they throw the book at you.
Yeah. I've heard that too.
Right.
And not to minimize that at all, but I feel like it paints a really good picture for the hand-in-hand partnership of economic development and an efficient transportation network. Getting that Flowers interchange done will really allow and bolster getting stuff in and out of there.
Well, you can have a successful economic development without having the opportunity to enhance the area in which you are trying to grow. And I think the state understands that. Certainly the Commission of Transportation, all of them understands that's important. When I was in the legislature, I used to be on transportation, and any growth and development, if you think growth and development is not kin to economic development, then you go to South Haven and see all that. You go back down on the coast and see how the interchange and how they've done some things. This state is moving when it comes to infrastructure, and particularly helping with the bridge and the safety of the bridge.
Yeah, we talk about that economic growth and development and transportation all the time, in public affairs at MDOT, so don't just take it from us, take it from the mayor.
That's
for
right.
sure. Another project going on, I-20 frontage road extension and bridge repairs in Vicksburg. Tell us about that project.
Well,
What's that going to do?
We celebrated and commemorated the lady that Margaret Gilman, that was known for keeping Dick Hall and the other commission focus on that. But that interchange, that frontage road bridge, has been a tremendous help to us, and not only for safety, but for economic reason too, because we believe that outlet mall is going to grow, and we'll be able to put some franchises out there because of that. But success comes slow. It's like golf; you have to tee it up. But all of that is going good. I cannot be any happy than I am the way the Transportation Commission treat us in Vicksburg. And when I say us, I mean the whole community and the county too.
I'm glad to hear that. Yeah. You got lots of stuff going on, as we just talked about and mentioned. How about the port? Things going well with the port?
The port is going great. All we're waiting on now is the permit from the Corps of Engineers, and I think it may be just around the corner. But that is going to be probably the biggest game changer this city's ever had, because of the fact it's going to create so many jobs. and it's going to allow the opportunity for so many rebirth of birth of economic opportunity off of it, because it starts with about 500 jobs, and I'm told that there's at least 3 or 4 industrial interests all over this. About 1,900 acres of land. I don't know the details of everything, but once we get the permit, we can start immediately on the preparing of the levee. And once we get that, I think it's going to be the biggest port on the Mississippi River.
That's awesome.
From Memphis to New Orleans.
We'll have to come get some live shots, some live footage.
Let's do it.
There you
Make
go.
it look real good.
We're hitting all the talking points today. You know, we're not just highways and roads
That's right.
and bridges. Transportation network means ports, rails, everything like that. So good stuff.
Yeah. One thing you mentioned, it's definitely something that we have this conversation on. The things you have to tell people over and over that you know they already know: trash and litter. How have you guys kind of dealt with those issues? It's just everywhere, but, you know, it looked very clean. Everything was clean and spotless coming up in here. I mean, how do you guys deal with it?
You had to mention it, huh? Well, we're in the middle of a transition when it comes to trash and trash delivery. We signed a contract with Waste Management, and because that contract increased in the cost of delivery of those services, we're trying to get some pushback. But we made some decisions, and to me it was easy, but we made it. And that is that we continue having more than 2 residential trash cans. We narrowed it down to 1 per household, and they pick up twice a week. And then we have a bulk collection of trash, and we're doing that. Besides that, I think the last 2 or 3 days been kind of, but I think we only had about 2 or 3 calls a day. They've been tearing me up on Facebook, but
Man.
it only bothers my mother, and she's dead.
I'm gonna have to use that. No, Mayor, to be honest with you, I really wasn't even meaning as far as the actual service provided by you guys, the city, of picking up. I just mean the city looks generally clean. All these events you guys
Well,
have.
you know, we also have what you call the community service, which is a program that we started. Costs about $245,000, but it's a program that is very helpful. It coincides with our city court service, and when you can't work off a fine, you can work off a fine there, and if you can't afford to pay your fine or your restitution, you can go and work it out by getting paid a minimum wage per hour and doing that, and it works well.
Okay.
And we try to get around the whole city and try to clean it up on a daily basis. But the tragedy of all of this is that even on on Indiana Avenue and some of the streets, the quicker you clean them up, there goes some fast food wrappers or somewhere else. But we do a pretty good job, especially around Mississippi.
You got to.
There you go.
Got to.
It's hard to get everybody on the same page about things these days, but I feel like we should all agree, you know, trash, litter, no good. So everybody out there,
Absolutely.
take care of it.
And it's important. I've traveled. Let me tell you, I've traveled this country, and I've been in many places, and some places where you see trash have overwhelmed those places. It's just hard to believe you're going to have any type of economic growth in those areas, and that's one of the reasons why we take litter. Make it a priority and making certain that 5 days a week we at least pick up on at least 1 or 2 streets in our Vicksburg area.
That's good stuff.
We all doing a great job. I just want to make sure we commend that effort because it does look great.
No doubt, no doubt.
And Paul's gonna get into the fun questions now.
Well, I'm gonna let you have your question though.
Oh,
You
man.
got to hit that food question.
All
so.
right. Well, look,
Hit
we'll make this easy for you, Mayor. We want to ask you about a place right here. You got, to stake involved is a lot. So I know you're traveling a lot, and you say you just travel the country, travel the state all the time, and get out and see some places, some holes in the wall maybe. Where's your favorite place maybe that is a hole in the wall to stop in that you got to go get a bite to eat there if you're ever in the opportunity?
Well, that doesn't. My favorite place doesn't serve food. It just sells cigar.
Okay. Well, now where's that?
Okay.
That's the River City Cigar. Well, most folks think that's my second office, but it's not. My second office is my cell phone because it's a smartphone. But besides that, let me just say, I got 2 or 3 places that I love to
Okay.
go, and that's Walnut Hill, that's Marketplace, and there's Rusty's, and there's Corner Market restaurant in the back. So I go to, and I don't want to get in trouble naming these folks.
That's
They
right,
gonna say
sure.
I did not commercialize them.
That's
but
right.
anyway, but my hangout is where I get my relaxation at, and that is at the cigar shop where I go in and smoke me one of them big cigars and go home and prepare for the next day.
Yep.
Love that.
It's a
So
good
I might
way-
as well admit it because they already blaming me.
I like transparency right here.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
What about maybe outside of Vicksburg? If you ever catch yourself outside, where you got to go?
Well, I like Baton Rouge. I need to keep it simple. I like the coast. I like going down to Biloxi all the time. And then, believe it or not, I like the Shelby County.
Oh, yeah.
The Shelby County is a great place to go. Tupelo is nice. And for historic reason, I like Oxford. Oxford has a lot of historic monuments and different things up there. So I travel the state, but at the same time, I try to get outside. And then that's D.C., which is
Oh yeah.
it's bigger than you want it to be, and Atlanta and Houston, some places. So I don't travel as much as my son, but I do travel.
What about a favorite kind of summer event somewhere? You got something an annual trip that you take every year that you look
Oh,
forward to?
Sandestin, without a doubt, Sandestin. I go once a year. Florida, you can't beat water. I'm a Pisces. I love to put my feet in the waters of the coast of Florida. So from Orange Beach to Sandestin, we get along real good.
I'll be down there in not too many weeks from now myself, man.
Yeah, there you go.
And it's an easy drive.
That's right.
And going 49 and going 78 and going into Sandestin, Nyeville, and all that, it's a great ride now. I can remember where, it wasn't so smooth, but now going down through there is a smooth ride. You get there before you know it. I think it's less than a 6-hour drive.
I think that's right. About 5.5 last time. Yep.
Love it, love it. So, get like the mayor, get out there on the interstates, highways, and explore the state and elsewhere. We've got one more fun question for you that we
Okay.
recently added. Mississippi is synonymous with great music, so can you tell us about maybe your favorite musician or band that you have?
Willie Dixon. He from Vicksburg. He from my church.
Oh,
It's easy.
okay. That is pretty good.
And we got a monument. We got a marker named after him. But beyond that, I can remember the last time that I saw Tina Turner. So I think we have to give her some type of homage because of the fact that the last time I saw her was the last time she was in the United States. I saw her in Miami, and she was a great person. I think we give her tribute now, and of course, you got to always remember Elvis Presley and other guys that have gone. But not Vicksburg, but Mississippi has a great list of artists that are real good and famous in terms of that just will have to provide the music and entertainment for us.
You're absolutely right.
Completely agree with you. Well, Mayor, thank you so much for having us today. We've been on the show. You've been on the show before, so maybe we'll come back and visit you again someday.
Well, great. Make me look good.
Yes, sir.
We
Absolutely.
will, man. Yes, sir.
All right, there you go. We'll just go ahead and wrap things up there. Thank you for all our listeners, our viewers, for tuning in to the Extra Mile podcast. You can visit, or you can listen and watch episodes by visiting gomdot.com/the extra mile. Follow us on social media at Mississippi DOT is the handle. We want to thank our editor, Drew Hall, who does all the things behind the scenes for us. And remember to drive smart out there on Mississippi highways.